Hi, I'm Herrick Kimball. I'm sitting here by my carrot bed out in the garden. This carrot bed is the same carrot bed I showed in the 4-day carrots video that preceded this. At that time, these carrots were 4 days old, and I also showed them at 6 days old, or 6 days after planting. Today, on this day, they are exactly 21 days old. They are 3 weeks old. And what I'm going to do is show you a close-up of how they're looking at this stage of their growth, and I'm also going to show you how I thinned them a while back, and I'm going to answer a few questions that people have asked about this unique, quirky growing technique. Okay, here we go. The little tri-plantings under these discs are up and doing pretty well. Let's take a close look. All right, you can see that we have a pinch was planted here, and a pinch of seed here, and a pinch of seed here, and we've got carrots that are up 3/4 of an inch or so. There's another planting, carrots, 3 carrots. Isn't that beautiful? Look at, there's no weeds in there, just carrots, little carrot sprouts. Okay, here we are at exactly 5 weeks to the day after planting this bed of carrots. This here in the center, this is the same bed that was featured in the first movie, 4-Day Carrots. that I made and posted to YouTube. And as you can see, this bed of carrots is doing very well. The carrots are healthy and lush, and at 5 weeks they are well on their way. I'm going to come in a little closer so you can just see how gorgeous these carrots are. And you can see that there's not a lot of weeds. In fact, there's essentially no weeds. Now, weeds do grow by these carrots in the circles to some extent, but it's no big deal to pull them out. It's pretty minor. And the bed on the right was planted later, so it's nowhere near at the level of maturity that we see here in this middle bed. I want to point out something that may not be evident to you watching this, and that is that the row of carrots on the left is not as far advanced or big as the other two rows. And that is because this bed to the left that you see here, between the carrots and the onion bed, was lush with beans, green and yellow beans, and they shaded out the sun. That it's hard to imagine looking at all that space, but those beans were nearly touching the carrots, and they blocked the sun for a good part of the day, so the carrot row on the left did not fare as well as these other two rows. Also, I had a little bit of a problem with slugs, marauding slugs coming out of the bean area, and they ate a few carrots when they were very young, which was discouraging. So that oculation cover on the bed to the left, I spoke about oculation covers in the first video, and there you see one down. I pulled the beans, I reshaped the bed, put that oculation cover on. The entire sidewalls are holding everything down, and I'll plant that bed next spring. That'll stay in place all winter. And here on the right, this other bed has carrots also, but they've got a ways to go before they reach the maturity that we see on this bed. So this is a 5-week update. This will be it for updates. You can see that these carrots are doing very well. They are going to grow big, and it's going to be nice to have carrots through the winter from this bed. Thanks for watching. Alright, I'm going to show you how to weed these carrots. I think you can see a weed right there. There you go. Weeded. How did you cut the holes in the plastic? Well, this picture shows how I did it. I used that old biscuit cutter and a torch. I heated the end of the biscuit cutter up and pushed it into the plastic, and it made very nice holes. As I mentioned in the previous video, the beds are 30 inches wide. I put a row of holes down the center of the bed, and the other two rows are spaced 9 inches from the center. I used a string line and a tape measure to mark the hole layouts. They're spaced 7 inches from center to center. I decided that in my next tri-planted bed in plastic mulch, I'll space the holes at 6 inches on center. Did I use the tri-marker shown in my book? No, I did not. For those who don't know, my Planet Whizbang idea book for gardeners has a chapter that gives more details about tri-growing carrots using shade discs to promote faster germination. That chapter in the book also tells how to make a tri-marker template for easily positioning the goldenrod stems and the carrots. In this picture I'm holding one of two tri-markers I made out of 1/2 inch HDPE plastic. These markers can be made out of cardboard or plywood or pretty much anything that's flat. The idea with the try markers is that you make 2 of them and use them to leapfrog on down a row, placing goldenrod stems in the centers and indenting the soil through the bigger holes for pinch plantings of carrot seed. The try markers are 6 inches in diameter, and the carrots end up being spaced about 3 inches apart. This system of using these try markers works very well, but I didn't develop it with the thought of planting in black plastic mulch. So I didn't use the templates, as I said, in these plantings. The biscuit cutter I used to make the holes in the plastic is 3 inches in diameter, and the carrots end up being spaced about 1.5 to 2 inches apart. The spacing is definitely closer, but I think it will work out just fine in the end. The idea of covering carrot seeds to hasten the germination of the seed is not a new idea. My Planet Whizbang idea book for gardeners has an excerpt from the 1869 Maine Farmer's Almanac that recommends this idea. The old-timers used boards over planted rows to shade the seeds and get them off to a good start. And I discuss this in the chapter in my book titled Easy Carrots. Shade discs and carrot tri-plantings are my own idea, and they work very well. I've used this method for the last 3 years. I made myself 80 aluminum shade discs. They're easy to make, and they will last a lifetime. As for putting tri-planted carrots in a bed that's covered with black plastic, as this video shows, that is a new twist for me, and I'm persuaded that it's a good idea. There's a whole lot less weeding to do when most of the bed is covered with plastic. However, the one drawback to this idea is that it's hard to pull extra soil up around the carrots, which is what I like to do after thinning them. To some degree, I was able to reach back under the plastic and scoop some soil up to the carrots, but it's not a simple thing to do. I got one comment from someone who mentioned that this idea looked like a lot of tedious work. It so happens that it is somewhat tedious, and it's definitely work. Because of the labor involved, this is clearly not an idea that's suited to a market gardening operation. It's an idea that home or homestead gardeners can utilize, have some fun with, and get a lot of satisfaction from, as well as a lot of beautiful carrots. And finally, if you don't yet have a copy of my Planet Whizbang idea book for gardeners, I want to encourage you to do so. If you enjoy growing your own food, you'll enjoy the book.